That make sense? Back and forth, back and forth. Ready, set. Ready, set. Ready, set. Ready, set.
What city are we in? Tell me what city we're in.
Blankbaden.
Yeah, you heard that? That's where we're at, all right? So I had to come here and show these Belgians how to bowl, but I have a feeling if I keep this up, they're gonna beat my ass.
Oh. Hey, tell me about these ships.
Yeah, I'm gonna say match.
Tell me about the ships. I came all the way over here to your work. What is this?
This is the M924. It's a minesweeper, and that's about it.
So you were saying that the Dutch and the Belgians kind of have a deal, right?
Yeah, they share the navy. We take maintenance of the minesweepers, and they take maintenance of our free huts or warships.
Interesting. And so these ships here are German, though, right?
Now, behind this one is Dutch, it's Primula, and behind them is Germans.
So then what would the Germans be doing right now?
We had to take it for work. It was like some kind of job day.
Ah. So this is where Guy works. And then this is the
Fisher's Cross.
Fisher's Cross. People who died at sea.
Which they're gonna tear apart.
Yeah, which they're gonna tear apart so they could bring in bigger.
So this is where I'm gonna be in half guard, okay? So for the people that are brand new to jiu-jitsu, or not jiu-jitsu, sorry, the tilt sweep in the game that I'm doing here, I want this foot to be on the ground. You guys see this? It needs to be on the ground. If I don't have it on the ground, he can move his foot and he can kick out and do things like this, and that's not what I want. The other thing that I like is my knee to be up in his hip. If I drop my knee down here and Max takes up his space with his knee, like this is scary for me now. I feel like Max is passing and I'm not like getting my sweep game. I'd rather get my knee back out. You know what I'm saying? So that makes me nervous already. So, but nothing happens to him while I sit here and move my knee. But if he comes towards me, like just drive, yeah, then I'm able to have his weight on his hips and I'm able to turn him over with my shin. Okay? So I know that in the regular half guard, we're always told to be be on your side, crunch, be in a ball, don't be on your back. You know, I know that we're told that a lot, but we're actually gonna end up planting our feet and bridging and turning them over like this. Okay, so I know that's a little bit backwards from some of the regular jiu-jitsu half guard game, but that's where we're getting at, okay? So in the very beginning, I'm not even worried about this arm, I'm not worried about this. Just hold his sleeve. Max is not allowed to put his hand over here right now. We'll show all of that. But for right now, just have two sleeves. I want you to pull him forward, push the knee into the hip. You can turn him over, okay? Once I come here, I'm going to reach super deep and my two fingers are grabbing in the armpit. Because I'm wearing the gi, I'm gonna grab that seam. If it was no gi, I just two fingers. If it's gi, I just make that grip, okay? And I'm gonna pass my leg out. Nothing crazy, nothing super technical. I just want like the basic understanding right now. So I've got two sleeves. I've got my knee up at his hip, my foot's on the ground. This one can either stomp, right next to the other one, or it can stomp the actual other foot. You can pull his weight to you a little bit if you need to, or your partner can literally lean forward for you, and we'll do this sweep. When you fall over, don't come up, see I'm on my elbow and my butt, I'm not on my knees. Don't come right up to give him another half guard. Stay low, grab that back, grab his other pant leg, kick your leg out, walk your booty back towards his face. Super simple, last time. This is super easy, I should not take too much more time on him. Here, two knees, or one knee up in his hip, two sleeves. I stomp on the ground, I'm turning him over. When he hits the ground, I reach in and grab his back. I push my leg out, I start walking my hips backwards, push my shoulder into his face. That make sense? Back and forth, back and forth. Ready, set. Okay guys, this is gonna be like a general concept, okay? I don't have to get half guard first. Okay, well, I'm gonna show you something. So like, I hip escape, I bring my knee to the inside, my foot on the hip. My knee to the inside, foot on the hip. If I need to break the grip, cool. But I side kick him. Like side kicking, you guys see that?
So I'm not like foot on the hip this way or knee up, I'm side kicking. This allows me to throw my hook in super deep. This is not a shallow leg lasso game. This is a super deep grip. Now I'm gonna pull my opponent off of his butt and right into the half guard position that I want. Watch, I pull him forward and I get my leg inside. I've already got his arm. He cannot, in any version of this, guys, I don't want him to put his hand on the mat. So I don't care if I block it, 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 if I block it. He just can't put his hand on the mat over here. You understand that, right? So we got this lasso, start from closed guard again. And so what I did basically is just showing you a little concept. I'm gonna show you a few different ways, but I can go from the upper body entanglements and then half guard, but I can also go half guard and then the upper body entanglements. So don't get so focused in that this only has to come from half guard. So anyways, I'm here and I'm just gonna give some white belts some information. If a guy were grabbing my belt, I can grab my belt. Like some white belt or some people are taught to sit here and focus, which is fine. I hold the sleeves, I hip escape so that my knee comes to the inside. My heels are in, toes are out. Heels are in, toes are out. See that? I give a little pop, boom, and I'll break his grip. I side kick, get my leg lasso nice and deep. I'm grabbing his hip right here because I'm gonna pull his hip. I don't wanna pull his shoulder. I wanna pull his hip. My elbow's super tight to my body. I'm trying not to let this dude turn this into a guard pass. He can't do a leg lead pass right now because I have control of his arm that would wanna grab my head. I pull him, I drop my hook, I pull him forward, I throw my half guard in, and I adjust. I like to get in nice and tight to him. Right now, we'll just hold both sleeves. He gets tilted over. Okay? So, right here, I wanna grab that same exact spot that we did before, and I'm gonna transition over to here. But I have a little bit of a problem, guys. I'm sitting on top of his shoulder and his bicep, okay? Now, the upper belts, they're like, oh, there's a bicep slicer there. No, there's not. I'm not in a good position to do that. I'm still in half guard. And if he's bigger and stronger, I'm not a huge fan of this anyways. If he's bigger and stronger, I'm gonna end up getting rolled, okay? So I would rather kick through. So my foot's gonna actually kick his hip right here, and my knee will pass over his arm. Look, see how my knee passes over his arm? Yeah, and so, no, don't move yet. So my knee's gonna come back and collect his arm. Watch this, as I push him away, look. Does that make sense? So now I'm able to have his arms shelved on top of my hip. I also like pushing this away. I'm just turning he wants his guard to turn towards me to recover his guard. So while I'm doing this, I like just pushing his guard away. It just helps me out. A lot of people talk about buggy choke these days. You guys wanna see buggy choke defense? So if you just chill here, you won't get buggy choked. Put me on the hip. All right. Freaking rip that open. Woo! I felt that on sweet. Okay, so, close guard. So concept, okay? So we're gonna go close guard. Inside, break the grip if I need to. Side kick, flying back grab with the foot. Pull him off of his haunches, get my half guard, and I shrimp in while I do that. Stomp my foot on the ground, I tilt him at my own accord. I grab his back, I grab this one here, I kick his leg away, and I collect his arm. Okay, so we've also got like half guard. I'm in half guard force, I'm playing like this. Whatever, right? I can grab his sleeve, I can throw a lasso, and I can tilt sweep from here. All right, I pull his back, grab his leg on the other side, kick through, collect his arm, shelf it up. Notice Max's back is not on the back like this. His elbow's not loose like that. Even if I'm here and his back's on the mat, I kind of like when he's tilted like that. You guys see how his back's off the mat? And this elevates him for dart chokes. This really isolates arms for arm locks. I like it when his back's tilted up just a little bit. Does going from closed guard, lasso to half, and then half to lasso, that concept makes sense to you? Think you can do it? Okay, so why don't you do half guard to lasso, and then lasso to half guard, and then switch. Ready, set.
Is that your age?
Oh, he's 69.
You're jealous. He doesn't. He's jealous. Okay, so of course, whenever I have the lasso,
the omoplata game is attached, right? Like, and so is a lot of the times the triangle, okay? But I just want to add a couple things to your game here. I like to grab the pants, okay? So you can grab the like the wrinkles by the knee. You can grab there too, and you can grab the pants down here. But this is for the beginners to know, like in sport competition, you can't stick your fingers inside of your opponent's sleeve or their pant sleeve. So this can be an accidental illegal grip sometimes. So just make sure that when you make this grip that like you're grabbing the actual outside of the pants and the referee won't make us think about it, okay? So you can grab here, and if they got big old thighs, you know, like sometimes this is tight, you can't even get it. Max doesn't do leg day, so I'm just messing with you, Max. I'm just messing with you. And so we're here, right? And then I'm able to tilt him this way by lifting his legs. Because one of the reasons that I'd want to lift his legs, guys, is if I just did his arms, you're gonna backstep and come back as fast as you can. Yes, but make your left leg kick to the. Oh, you got busted ribs. Let me use someone. I don't want to use broken ribs for a freaking. Give me someone else. My bad. So Max still dealing with ribs. So I'm here with my leg lasso in this, right? And when I tilt, Fabrice's leg goes back and he comes back. He just doesn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to master that. And the way that I counter that obviously is controlling his leg, right? So if I do this grip and then I tilt and he tries to backstep, it doesn't matter, and I still have my path. So there's a rhyme and a reason for everything, okay? So again, whichever way you start to attack the spider guard or the lasso and then the half guard, I'm gonna switch to the pants at this point. All right. The other thing that your opponent can do sometimes from here is they're usually going to grab my bottom collar. Yeah, so we'll start to encounter that too. And we'll deal with that in a minute. He'll feel like a rock sometimes if he does that. It really depends on Fabrice's upper body posture or drive with his head. Really depends on what he's doing downward or forward or to the side with his head, okay? So that's gonna matter how much this matters to me. So if you start, I've taught this seminar a lot, so if you start here and you're like, oh, I can't get him, just don't hold on to your partner too much, because I'm gonna attack omoplatas and all that stuff on this side too. But this is why I want to do that. So let's do this one time. Get your partner to backstep and come back. All right, just get that movement. Thanks, dude. Then grab it, right? And tilt them over so we can't do it the next time. That make sense, guys? So now we'll just stay inside control like this. Okay? Never coming up to my knees. Make sense? Okay? Some of you guys are just really, really fast to turn onto your knees. I want you to get used to being like this. Okay? One more time. It doesn't matter how we get here. Switch to his pants. Ready, set. Oh, trying to get my leg out, and, you know, but not really. You got a good over-under player. I'm not just gonna catch a triangle. But his head needs to be in my hip over here, right? He needs to start doing this. So I don't want to do that. I want to deflect. And I want to push my knee into his chin if I can. Because once his head comes around mine, then he starts opening my femurs and my hips and starts doing that to me. So that's not what I want to do. But so I'm going to push him away just for a good fundamental of trying to get him over my knee and get his head past my knee. See how I'm trying to use my knees to defend my guard? But I can grab my sleeve, I can grab my elbow. He's just not allowed to put his hand on the mat. And as I push away, he pushes back at me and gets swept right into it. For you beginners, this is deep half guard. I know, cool, right? You just sit in deep half guard. Been here before? New spot? New spot? Okay. This is a huge part of jiu-jitsu though. So you new beginners have to learn how to sit here. Okay, so I got one leg straight, his head sitting on my thigh like a pillow. Right? It's literally the same position. Right? I don't want you to get in the habit of doing this, or doing the sweep from his head being past my knee. I don't want you to get in the habit of my knee not being up in his hip. Like I've got to start deframing his upper body first and get my knees involved. Now my knee's higher in his hip, my knee's in his face so that he, I moved his neck offline. I've talked about that all week. right? And now I framed him away, whatnot. I can even get these grips now. I can push, I'm like, you guys can tell I'm doing this, right? Like it's not a big technique, but I'm pushing into him so that he pushes back, and then I put my foot on the ground and I roll over my leg, and I push his hat. I do the same things I did earlier. I push his guard away. Okay, and then his top guard. He's sitting on his arm. His head is on my pillow. Or so his head is like my thighs are like a pillow. His head's on my thigh. Good to go? If he were not underneath me, I'd look like this from the beginning. Right? So we're here, watch, gliding, and all of a sudden he swims underneath my leg. Like, once you know it, it's just like, because people pummel and dive. You know, they dive right into it once you get good at it, you know? But for now, let's just go super slow. Okay, so he's got the over-under. Just deflect the head and the bicep. I'm trying to get my knees involved. He's past my knees, you see? Not good. I'm deflecting to my knees. Switch my grip. I can grab the pants if I want, but he's usually pushing in so hard, I don't even have to grab his pants. I tilt him over. I come up in the deep half guard. I'm pushing his leg away. Right, he wants to wrestle up and turn his knees towards me and come back up, kick over and pass the guard. Yeah, he wants to do that, right, guys? So when I push his guard away, it makes him face the other direction. Good to go? One person go until I say switch. Ready, set, back to it. So check this out. He's got the over-under position here, and I would like to push his head away, okay? Again, the reason I want to push his head away is because he wants to drive his head over to this pocket. So I want to keep his head pushed away. If by any chance I can get my arm to my elbow inside of my knee, this is like a permanent space, right? Like trying to drive your head to my knee. Like he'll never get it there. I'll move a little bit, but like he'll never close this space. He really wants that space closed. He's gonna get pissed and try and shovel his head underneath and do that. But he's gonna start doing all that kind of stuff. So you're gonna, the guys who play half guard come up into this position a lot. This is a very common position. Bernardo Faria is like super made this popular for a lot of people. It's old man jiu-jitsu. For us older guys, we can clinch the younger guys and flatten their guards. So it still works on all jiu-jitsu, you know? So it's a very big part of jiu-jitsu. I want to deflect, okay? But I just want you to understand this. Look, if I get my elbow cool, that's like a cool part. It's not a necessary part, all right? But if I have the space, I can grab up by his shoulders. All right, and I'm gonna swing my leg wide and I'm gonna drag his arm. So I swing my leg wide and I drag his arm and I'm able to take his back. All right, so I deflect. If I ever get my permanent space though, like he'll never be able to get that. Go ahead and drive your head a little bit. Yeah, so he'll never get that back. I can take my time getting my arm grip like this. I open my leg even further, and then when I do this, guys, you'll notice that I don't just arm drag Fabrice. He doesn't move forward. He ends up like moving this way like a clock, watch. And then you see what I did with my knee when I got up? Pinch your knees just a little bit more for Fabrice. Yeah, that's how we landed, right? Watch how I open his legs and mess with his balance while I spread my knee. Right? Everything else will start doing that. Right, so if you just have that habit, that helps to open people up. If you don't, they hop up on their feet. You're gonna have it's just a little tidbit, okay? But I do it a lot. So, we get to the over-under, he's here, I deflect, I grab the arm, I open, I drag. Looking for the same thing for the people that were here last night. Once I drag, this hand plants and I'm going to that hand hook. And then I'm opening, okay? I'm here like this. If you'd like, this spaleo flango, you can spread, belly him out. My foot comes to the other one, my feet connect to each other, and I'm just going back this way. Okay? So, you can take it back by seatbelting or whatever, that doesn't really matter, but so, you guys get that? But the truth is, the only reason the mount is not guard is because there's a mat and gravity. If we were doing jiu-jitsu and we were in space, we're in the same positions a lot, right? So, while he's fixing his belt, if I sweep him into deep half guard, if I were to sweep him into deep half guard, and I were to deflect his head, I would put my arm inside of his armpit, and then sucker gives the. So, anyone ever heard of the American grappler named Bill Cooper?
Bill Cooper taught me this in like 2007. So you can just do it anytime you get put in deep path. It's not just because we came from half guard you have to do this. Anytime you get put in deep path, right? Oh yes, and the other thing is like, you can grab here for the beginners in deep path. You can grab the hip. You can do lapels. You can do all kinds of stuff. He can like put different hooks in, right? Doesn't matter what he does, this works. So when I learned that, I was like, ding! Like it doesn't matter what he does, I'm gonna go about my business. You have whatever foot configuration you want, it's still gonna work. Especially for the advanced grapplers, you gotta really like that, right? When you hear someone works on all different variations of grips. I can hardly even get this at my headquarters in Texas because all my guys, they're just gonna sit there and go, nope, I'm not coming up. They just know I'm gonna do it, you know? So I can start to change the position. So nevertheless, you can start the whole sequence from here, do it nice and slow, he's over under, I have a nice little deflection if I have the super gap, cool, but don't get too hyped up on that, guys. You won't always get that because as he drives his head, drive hard, like you won't always get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get it, cool. But it's not always gonna happen, but you gotta have the head deflection, okay? So I'm over here, open, and then I pull around. I let go, and I open my knee, and I grab this so he doesn't sit the butterfly guard. If you'd like, I take the back. If you'd like, seatbelt. I don't care what you do right now, okay? Then you have the combination of it. From here, I tilt sweep him. Boom, he goes over. I deflect his head, I grab his tricep, I sacrifice roll. He thinks he got what he wants. He thought he got back into a sweep. He's coming right back up. So that's why I call it a sucker drag from deep half guard. I just lay back, he thinks he's getting a sweep, bomb. No joke, I know this is not a proud moment, but just a fact. This is the only move in which I have completely knocked someone out unconscious in jiu-jitsu. Like, we're in deep half, I know we're not gonna do this faster, but it's okay. It's like, oh great, let's demonstrate on me now. So like, because, like just come up and over, I don't know if you can do the thing. No, just like come up and go over under. Like because those deep half guard guys will come into that movement so hard, or that, because they'll do that, when I set it up, they come up, they're just not expecting it, and I've gone, boom, and their head hits the mat. You know? So like, because they're not expecting it, it's like a head-on collision almost. I'm pulling and they're already trying to come up. So watch how hard you absolutely slam people with it. Anyways, that's the technique. You guys good with it? One person go. Ready, set. If someone has your belt and he does it, go ahead and do your thing. All right? He'll drag right through it. And now I got lucky right now, but do it again, Minnie. A lot of the times, because people hold on to the last minute, he's gonna come up and my arm is gonna get trapped on the back. Right, so he comes and goes through his drag. I'm like, my arm gets stuck like this. You see, guys? Now you can seatbelt right here and take me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because people sometimes hold on to the band or the pant or the belt because they're not trying to get their grip broke. But that's like super cool to know about this move. I can literally do it while he's holding on to my pants. The other thing is this, so that you have to ensure that I'm doing this. I have to ensure that I have a big wide range of motion when I'm doing this with my leg. I feel like some of you struggled when you tried to kick through it right here. You tried to go like down too much, you know? So like as he's like this, and I were to get this position, look how my leg still circles out. I'm trying to go from being gripped by his shoulder, his humerus or elbow, to go all the way down to the end of his radius and ulna, right? I'm trying to go out to make the drag easier. Make sense, guys? So that's another thing that I just noticed a bunch of you were doing. You were like kicking down instead of going real wide. But also the cool point is you can do it while he's gripping you. It's the other person's turn, right? Ready, set. Anyways, I build my base, I drag my knee to the floor, and then I can pull this leg out if I want and chase the crucifix. Right? Or I'll show you a few different positions, okay? From here, leg. Say I don't pull this leg out and go to crucifix, I keep it in, I switch my grip, I pull the other leg out, still got the back. So it doesn't matter which one you do. If I do a swing move arm bar, it's all the same move, guys. Okay? If I do a, connect your hands when you go. If I do a swing move arm bar, I'm here and I'm like, and I can't get him over. If there's no knee, I hold the hip. If there's knee, I get the bull rider grip. I let go of the arm lock. I take his back. You know? So like, to me, it's all the same. It's all the same move. You know what I mean? But so for the advanced guys, we can do the Alamo roll right now, okay? It's a badass Slayer patch, by the way. And it's sewn on your side, dude. You're diehard, okay? I'm not messing with that guy. So we're back to the over-under. And I want to control his wrist, right? And I'm not doing this on my face or my shoulders. I'm building my base, old man jiu-jitsu. I'm not gonna do my knees hurt. And then the whole key is to make his shoulder and arm feel like the omoplata movement. So I put my hip on the ground. You see this? I pull my leg out. I can even get taps like this, guys. Right, but I don't hardly ever go for that. I come up, and then I just connect my hands around his far side arm. I pull back, and he's in a gnarly crucifix. I control this one arm. I'm usually coming around the corner for a collar choke or two. You know? So, again, I'm in half guard. I'm getting my guard pass. I frame away. That make sense? Okay. So, remember I say if we're in space, it's the same position, right? So if I tilt swept him, we're in this position, let's just change it here. He has the majority of his sweeps from me being in half guard, or being in the proper position. So I kind of throw that position off by changing the base, controlling his neck by my leg. Same exact position. It's all the same thing. You guys get that for the upper belts? So like if that's real confusing for you to like do it from other positions, just like start from the very first over under, okay? So number one, I'm here, and I control the wrist. You can also like do, like some guys will do this like reverse punch grip and stuff. I like to just actually grab the wrist. And I'm trying to bend it around my arm so that Fabrice actually feels uncomfortable, right? He like starts to feel like, oh shit, this isn't my grip anymore. It's his grip. Is that how you feel? Good, sucker. No, it's good. Drive your head just a little bit more toward me, don't off to the side. There we go. So I'm here. Next step is moving my arm to build my base, right? Yes, there are building your base type movements that shoot right into triangles and all kinds of stuff you can do too. But those stay on your back. I'm gonna take his back and get on top is what I'm looking at. Hands separated from any kind of defense. On the side, get the choke. Are you good to go? Hold on. This is the advanced guys I'm teaching, so I can teach too. I'm here. Alamo roll. This time, I take the other leg out. I grab his back or his pants like I did a second ago. And I take the bottom leg out. Hit the skate, pull his hips. So you got literally, you take one leg out or the other. It turns into a crucifix or the back tape. Upper belts okay with that? White belts, go over there and drill whatever you want. If you didn't get a damn thing today but one technique, go drill that technique if you want. If you got 3 things you want to do, cool. You want to drill everything, cool. But right now it's your time to go drill. God's honest truth, y'all don't need to be doing that. You know it's the truth too. Okay? White belts drill what you want. Upper belts can drill this. If you upper belts feel like it's still too advanced, you can still just drill the basics of what we did today. Have fun. I'm gonna let you have fun. Chase the back. Chase, there's the move from today, this morning. Get your knee inside. Don't go in close guard, get your knee up. Don't go in close guard. You want that squeak guard and all that, bro.
his head, Benny. One step over his head and scramble. Over his head, all the way, scramble. Yep, circle, stand, fight. There you go.
Fabrice, we're here first day as a black belt, back on the mat too with the team training. How you feel?
I feel awesome. I feel motivated.
Go.
That's the most important part, because now everybody's gonna try to get your ass. So, but it's good. It pushes you to get to a higher level. So
How'd you like the techniques today?
awesome as always. We need Brandon in Europe for 6 months.
Well, you need to blame the Wuhan. Okay, not me. All right.
Stop. Sit down.
To here.
Yeah.
But now, after what you said, this is immense, the difference.
Oh, not getting your shin in the way?
Yeah.
I got what you're saying.
It's the first time that I got an armbar so clean. It's that detail that you told.
Go, guys. So it is 2022, October. I haven't been in Belgium since, like January 2020, right before the lockdowns. I'm teaching in Oostkamp, Belgium right now at one of my affiliates, Legion Jiu-Jitsu. The professor is Maxime Latowski. But this is pretty much our Belgian team right here. Not all of it, but we got some of our guys from Ronse, and we have some of our guys from Oostkamp and guys from Bruges. And so I've been teaching all week, and it's going really good. I'm super proud of the instructors. They have done well with their students while I've been gone, and it's looking excellent, man. And then the way that we share knowledge within our team, I can see certain people doing techniques from other people in my network that they haven't even met. So it really is a cool thing, and glad these instructors here in Belgium are doing good with their students. Max to be able to promote his guys, First and foremost, I want to say this. You have an excellent instructor. Second, you're fortunate enough that your excellent instructor is also an excellent competitor, and so it's really a blessing to have him on my team. I appreciate you choosing me as your coach. I appreciate your loyalty. And speaking of loyalty, right? Like, guys, I'm not a thumb on press on you kind of coach, I'm very friends with all of my guys and stuff. But I told Max, I said, man, during all this COVID lockdown stuff, I couldn't come over here, right? His black belt birthday's in December, and so I had gone to some other countries, and then in March I was supposed to come, and he waited, and then we couldn't do it, and so then it's been so long, I felt so bad. I said, hey man, we can do it over Skype. We can take the stride, it's been a long time. He said, nah, Brandon, I want you to put it on my waist in front of my students. And I said, But here's the thing. I really don't trust your or my government. So if anything ever goes wrong again, or if I don't come back from tomorrow, 2 months is too close. His birthday's in December for his 6th year, right? So he's gonna get both stripes right now, right? He gets 3. Technically, at the black belt level, we do call them degrees, okay? But for the colored belts, you tend to call them stripes. So in case the world burns, I refuse to have, and I can't come back, he's gonna at least be over here with 2 stripes. So here you go, sir. Number 1. Yes.
For you people that are new at jiu-jitsu, the purpose of stripes on black belts is by way of years, okay? So the first one represents 3 years at black belt. The second one again represents 3 years at black belt. But all of my black belts, of course, do this. And what you should do is be giving back to the jiu-jitsu community. Doesn't mean all 2-stripe black belts are coaches. But I think at some point in your time, you should train, you should help teach a class, you should referee, you should give back to the martial art in some way, because that's what the degrees are. Obviously, he's giving back to the martial art, right? So, but I just wanted to educate some of the other crowd about what that is. Then, what I also want you to do is recognize one other thing, which is also important to me. I highly respect him as an instructor. I asked Max, oh dang, Max, show me what that is. Show me, what do you got, Max? So the other thing I want you to realize is these stripes on the outside of my bar is what we call instructor stripes, right? So I don't want Max to go another day without officially have Big Rig Jiu-Jitsu instructor stripes. These don't have to do with years. They just go on your belt to show also, if there's multiple black belts in the room, that he's the head instructor at the school. So if there were other black belts training today on the mats that were from his school, they wouldn't be wearing these stripes in particular. Okay? It's an honor to have you as an instructor on my team. It's an honor to have you work with AGF. You're an awesome person. Thank you, sir.
I want to thank you guys, to making me suffer on the mat, to making me going up, to training with me daily, because it's also a big part of you. I become second degree black belt. I cannot, like jiu-jitsu is like personal sport, but you cannot do it alone. It's not really impossible. So you need to have people around you to push you daily, to try to twist your spine, break your arms. And thank you for this. Thank you, coach, for your trust, for everything. Yeah, that's it. For me, we're not gonna stop here, because as Brandon said, it's like also giving back. So it's like great opportunity to having Brandon here, to having Brandon Quick Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Fabrice with his teammates, to having all of you guys, also guys from other schools, and using this opportunity, I want to give back and promote. Give back. You deserve it, guys. I'm not giving anything. You deserve it. You work hard for everything that happens now. So I want to continue with this promotion and give some of you some stripes, some of you some belts, and some of you a bit more time for working on your weaknesses and making you better and promote you in the close future, okay? So
Only road, man.
En dan een dubbel kastje, dan kan je wel zo walken.
I know.